Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivo Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bangam Nandayate Giram Yatrivadam Hande Shri Guru Nirakaranam Manamanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanachalakya Chakshurmritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Swayam Rupa Mahyam Dadati Swapadantilam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharni Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashtaja Deshatarni Bhanja Kalpatarudishya Kripa Sindhuvayeva Patitanam Namanityo Vaishnavyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaurabhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Shri Gandharva Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Lakshmi Singh Lord Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining morning Bhagavatam class. So today we are not speaking from Bhagavatam, but we are going to speak about Bhagavatam. So today the topic is life and teachings of Srimad Madhvacharya. So we all belong to the Sampradaya of what? Brahma Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. We all come into the Sampradaya of Madhvacharya. So it's nice to know what kind of personality he is and what teachings he gave us. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Vaishnava Siddhanta Mala, he says there are 9 principal teachings of Madhvacharya which we follow. And he quotes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, okay, as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, we are supposed to know those 9 principles and follow those 9 principles. Okay, we look at what those 9 principles are. In the course of the class, okay. So who is Madhvacharya? We know our Acharyas, Rupa Goswami. Who are they? They are Manjaris, right? Rupa Manjari, Guna Manjari, like Kamala Manjari, like Nayana Manjari, all those things. Okay. All our Acharyas are followers of Gopi, Bhartu, Padanamalaya, Dasa, Dasa, Dasa. They are all like followers of Gopis of Vrindavan. This is a portion of our Acharyas. Similarly, if you look at Sri Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya, he is none other than incarnation or expansion of Lord Anantasesha. He is called Lakshmana himself, who came to preach pure devotional service. Similarly, Madhvacharya, as per Shastras, it is given, he is an incarnation of Vayu, the wind god. So, actually, it's the 3rd incarnation of Vayu. Who is the first incarnation of Vayu? Any guesses? Hanuman. Hanumanji is Pavana Putra. He is first incarnation of Vayu. Who is the second incarnation of Vayu? Bhima. So Krishna's Lila is son of Vayu, Bhima. So Madhvacharya is the 3rd incarnation of Vayu. Vayu occupies a very important position in the hierarchy of demigods because we cannot survive without breathing, right? Air is very important. And survive without even water for some time, fire and all those things, but Vayu, without that, we cannot survive. Vayu occupies a very important position in the pantheon of demigods. And in Madhva Sampradaya, Vayu plays a very important role. Because he has appeared to serve the Lord in different ways. Okay, as Hanumanji, as Bhima, okay, here the Lord established the principles of religion. And similarly, Madhvacharya is considered to be the third incarnation of Vayu. In fact, there was a legend, there's a legend in Madhva Sampradaya. Madhvacharya had a disciple called Trivikram Panditacharya. Okay. Trivikram Panditacharya is somewhat like our Krishna's Goswami, or like you can say Satsvarup Maharaj, okay, who wrote Prabhupada's life history, right? Like Prabhupada Lilanata. So Trivikram Panditacharya's son, Narayana Panditacharya, is the one who wrote the life history of Madhvacharya. They are contemporaries of Madhvacharya. So like our Murari Gupta wrote it down in diary, right? And from that Kadach, right? Then we Chaitanya Charitamrita became the source of Chaitanya Charitamrita for Krishna and Goswami. So that Trivikram Panditacharya's son, Narayana Panditacharya, wrote a book called Sumadhava Vijaya. So this contains the entire life history and teachings of Madhvacharya. One of the primary source of teaching or life of Madhvacharya. So he was a disciple of Madhvacharya, and we all know Madhvacharya established a very famous temple. What is the temple? Udupi Sri Krishna temple, right? So at that time, Madhvacharya, like, he was personally worshipping the deity of Sri Krishna. He found the deity, like how our Acharya, like Madhavendra Puri, he found the deity of Gopalji. Now he is called as Srinathji. He found the deity and he installed the deity in Govardhan, and he very meticulously established the worship of Gopalji. Right? He trained the Brahmanas, he told them, okay, what are the rules to follow to worship the deity, how many times Bhoga should be offered, at what time, all those things he gave. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada also gave us all these instructions how to worship the deity of the Lord. How many 6 times worship, like Bhogas, and how many Bhogas should be offered, everything, very meticulous details. Right? So Madhvacharya also actually created a very meticulous system of how to worship the deity of Sri Krishna in Udupi temple. And he also created 8 matas or 8 Ashtamatas of Udupi. So they take turns, every 2 years they take turns to worship the deity. The Matacharya, the sannyasi who is the head of the mat, he will be personally worshipping the deity of the Lord for those 2-year period. Okay, even today it is followed. Okay, so they take turns. So once in 14 years, everybody gets a chance to worship the deity of Lord Sri Krishna. So he established, and he was personally, during that time, he was personally worshipping the deity. He established the standard. One time what happened, when the new Raj Bhoga time was happening, right? Like we offer Bhoga and then we do the Aarti, right? So it so happened, and Madhvacharya, when he is offered, we close the deity altar, and only the Pujari will be offering and everything. And Madhvacharya was doing the puja inside. And the time passed, the Raj Bhoga time passed, the Aarti time came. The door did not open at all. And they didn't hear any bell ringing. Okay? So Trivikram Panditacharya was outside, and he became very curious. Same way, Indradyumna Maharaj became very curious when they were sculpting Jagannath's deity. He became curious, suddenly the bell ringing, like the chiseling sound stopped, and he didn't know what is happening inside. Okay, so he just opened the door. Right? So when Trivikram Panditacharya became curious, why Madhvacharya is inside, and I didn't hear any ringing of bell or anything like that. What is happening? So what he did is he just slightly opened the door and he peeped inside to see what is happening. To his utter amazement, he saw Hanuman, okay, worshipping Lord Ramachandra. He saw Bhima worshipping Lord Krishna, and he saw Madhvacharya worshipping Vyasdev. Okay, 3 personalities worshipping 3 forms of the God, and he became ecstatic. So you think about it, right? You see, personally, the spiritual master's position is so dear to the Lord that he is worshipping 3 different forms of the Lord simultaneously. He became very emotional ecstasy. He composed a set of verses glorifying the position of Madhvacharya, of course. The 3 incarnations of Vayu, Hanuman, Bhima, and Madhvacharya. It's called Vayu Stuti. He composed it instantaneously, glorifying the spiritual master. We also offer our glories to spiritual master as a Vyas Puja offering, right? Similarly, he is such a scholar, he would compose poems. He could write prose, he could write poems. So he composed it, and he became he offered that composition after Madhvacharya finished his worship. When he came out, he offered those offerings to Madhvacharya. So when Madhvacharya read that offering, he composed two more slokas about the glories of the nails of Lord Nrsimha. We also sing the glories of Lord Nrsimha's nails. No? Tavakara, Kamala, Vare, Nakam are both the singam, right? So that is called Nakastuti. Naka means like nails, and Stuti is glorification. He composed Nakastuti, glorifying the nails of Lord Shiva. And he said, a spiritual master should not be glorified independently. A spiritual master should always be glorified in relationship with the Supreme Lord. It's okay to chant, glorify the spiritual master. The most important aspect is a spiritual master's glories must always be spoken along with the glories of the Supreme Personality of God. So he said, if you want to chant this Vayu Stuti, it is okay. That is our duty to glorify our spiritual master. The most important thing is, like, first should start with glories of the Supreme Personality. So, the first verse is about Lord Nrsimha's nails, glories, and Vayu Stuti. And finally, it ends with again the last, another verse from glorifying the personality of God in Nrsimha. And they finish it. So, it became Hari Vayu Stuti. This is the teaching, or this is the system that is established. Spiritual master is glorified along with Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord is also not alone glorified. He is glorified along with his most dear confidential servant, okay, who comes to preach the glories of the Supreme Lord. So that's what he did. So this is the position of Madhvacharya. So where did he appear? He appeared very close from here, like just one night's bus travel or train travel. He appeared in a place called, close to Udupi, called Pajaka Kshetra. Okay, this is the place where Madhvacharya appeared. He appeared on Vijayadashmi day, okay, in 13th century. Okay, the year of his birth and everything is not very clear. Okay, there are a lot of here and there, okay, differences out there. But it's believed that he appeared sometime in 13th century. Okay, on Vijayadashmi day, in a place known as Pajaka Kshetra. So, little background about his parents. So, they were like, his parents were like a Brahmana, a simple pious Brahmana. They had a small piece of land which they cultivated, and then whatever they get out of it, they made a very self-contented living. They had two children or three children, two of them boys, one girl. Okay, two boys died very early when they were infant itself, so they had only girl. So they always desired to have a son. Okay? And he was very scholarly Brahmana. Okay? And he was well versed in the system of Vedas and like Vedantas and like Upanishads and everything. But somehow he never, in that time, during that time, the dominant school of thought was Mayavada philosophy. Everywhere the teachings were Mayavada. So it is Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, they all appeared to actually preach against the principle of Mayavada and preach the pure devotional service. Like after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all of us. So, but the dominant school was Mayavada. So even though he was a product of that school, he was not very happy with the philosophy of Mayavada. Okay, internally he was not happy. Right? So what is the typically famous Vakya, Mahavakya of Mayavadis? One is Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Okay, I am God, I am him. Right? Soham. This is another famous word. So, I am that Brahman. Okay. This is what they say. There's a funny story, not related to Madhvacharya. Okay. So, there was one Mayavadi scholar, assume he visited one Iskcon temple like this, and he saw a deity, very beautiful deity. He got inspired, and he found a notice board. Okay. And he notice board. And he took a marker or a chalk, and he wrote, "So I am that." Okay, and he left. Then after some time, one devotee came. He was also a scholar, devotee scholar. When he saw Soham entered, he felt, okay, oh, this is not right. Okay, this is our temple, and this is not the philosophy to follow. What he did, he went and added one syllable before this Soham. He added Dha before it. He became Dha Soham. I am not Brahman, I am servant of Brahman. he made it Dasoha. So the next day this Mayavadi scholar came, he saw Dasoha. Oh, this is not correct philosophy. He added one more syllable before. He made Sa before, added Sa before. What it became? Sadasoha. I am always that. Sada, Kirtane Sada Hari, always. It is Sadasoha. Okay, I am always that Brahman. Then the devotee came, he saw it. Oh, this is blasphemy. This is not right. What he did, he added one more syllable before. He added one more Dha before Sadasoha. Become Dasa Dasoha. Maybe I am the servant of the God. This is our philosophy, right? We are not directly servants of Krishna. We are servant of the Lord. Dasa Dasoha. Gopi Bhakti Pada Kamaleva, Dasa Dasa. Our position is I am always servant. So always like devotees and Mayavadis have this kind of fight, tug of war. Okay? We consider ourselves to be servant of the Lord, they consider themselves to be Lord. So, though he was studying Mayavada, he was not satisfied, so he basically stopped studying the Bhashya from Madhvacharya. Rather, he engaged himself, like Madhvacharya's father. Okay? His name was Madhvacharya. Bhatta is the name like scholars or like they get this title. Like we also have Gopal Bhatta, Madhvacharya, right? Goswamis, Bhatta, Madhvacharya Bhatta. So instead he started engaging himself in reading Bhagavatam, okay, Puranas and then like Mahabharata. So he engaged himself because internally he was a devotee, but he couldn't express himself because the dominant school was Mayavada and he didn't have an alternative, a better philosophy to read, right? So he was living like that. But always this father and mother had this couple, Madhvacharya, but that is why I always had this, okay, I don't have a son. So they engaged themselves in austerities, tapasya for 12 years, okay. In Udupi, there was two famous temples, even before Udupi, Sri Krishna came, because that came when Madhvacharya appeared. After Madhvacharya appeared, Udupi Sri Krishna temple was established. Before that, there was two famous temples called Chandramaulishwara temple and the Ananteshwara temple. So it so happened in that area of South Karnataka, okay. Even Vishnu is worshipped in the form of a linga. You know the linga form of the Lord, right? Shivalinga. Okay. Ananteshwara, even though it represents Lord Ananta, it is said, okay, the Lord is in the shape of linga, okay, Shivalinga. It says the Antaryam, the person who is residing within the linga is Vishnu. So people were worshipping in Vishnu form of the Lord in the form of a linga. Okay. So they used to regularly visit. Because they stayed in a village called Pajakakshetra, which is close to Udupi. So they frequently visited and they offered their prayers. They were praying to the Lord to have a son, not an ordinary son. They want a son with divine qualities. For 12 years, they didn't lose hope. Okay. When we practice devotional service for a few years, we feel, okay, why we are not progressing? Okay. But for 12 years, they were offering just prayers. And one time when there was some festivity was happening in the temple, okay, typically we see like during festivities, we may see, okay, one person may get possessed, okay, by some demigod or something like that and act very devotional, see jumping up and down, all those things, right? Sometimes during a Kirtan we can see our devotees also jumping up and down, not being possessed out of happiness and chanting the holy name. But in this case, that person was possessed, maybe by demigod through them. He ran, climbed a flagpole in the temple and he started shouting. He started saying, very soon Vayu himself will appear, okay, in this place and he will establish the principles of religion, which is basically Bhagavata Dharma. So he proclaimed like that and then Madhvacharya, when he heard this proclamation, he became very satisfied. He thought, okay, maybe Lord Ananteshwara, through the mouth of this devotee, is proclaiming that he is sending his devotee. Okay, he assumed, okay, it could be my prayers are getting answered. So as per the proclamation, very soon, like Madhvacharya's wife conceived, and the son was born on a Vijayadashmi day. He looked very effulgent. The whole village was so happy, okay, to see the beautiful smiling face of the young child that was born. It's an extraordinary child, it's not an ordinary child. Okay? Everybody was like attracted magnetically towards the beautiful lotus face of the child. And like that he grew up, just like doing all the child infant stuff, what all that infant does, crying, hungry when he's all these things, all of it like just like an ordinary baby. And he was given the name Vasudeva. Okay? And when he was then as he grew up, he was about 1 year old. His mother left him in the care of his sister. There was one sister here, okay? Because 2 sons died, there was 1 daughter. So she had to have some important work. So she left the child in the care of the sister. The moment the mother left the house and went a little far away, the child started crying. Vasudeva started crying. And the sister was trying to console him. And it was just making hell of a lot of noise. Okay? She couldn't console him at all. He was crying. So maybe she thought, okay, maybe he's hungry, that's why he's crying. So 1 year, Annaprashana suddenly happened. So I can feel little Anna, right? So at the time that mother kept cooked some horse gram dal, okay, she took maybe a couple of spoons. 1 year old child, how much little? She gave a couple of spoons of this horse gram dal. He ate it. Then she stopped it, thinking he'll be okay. He started crying again. She fed another couple of spoons. Then he was happy eating. She stopped it. He started crying. Like that, she fed the entire, basically their family had 3 people or more, okay? And she had to feed the entire cooked boga or cooked prasada to him. 1 year child eating so much boga, nobody has heard of it. Because he's Bhimasena. You have to understand, he's the Godara, he can eat. Right? So that is his ability. So he entire, whatever the food items. The mother came after some time and she got to know about this, okay? She became very anxious. And she started scolding her sister. Okay, what did you do? You fed the child the entire cooked prasadam. What will happen to his stomach? When we eat, the moment something goes inside, it gets manifested here. Or we cannot move around, or we cannot feel sleepy and all of this. But you don't see that in Madhva, like Vasudeva. The child was very active. You don't see this. He had a slim body. It's not like he was eating, so he became fat or something like that. He had a very nice, beautiful body. He was just very active. And the mother was fretting. Okay, so tomorrow my son is going to have diarrhea. Okay, he's going to have indigestion and all those ailments. Nothing happened. For 2 days, 3 days she waited. Nothing happened. He was hale and healthy. In fact, he didn't undergo any kind of material ailments, okay, that sickness which ordinary child goes through when he grows up. He was always hale and healthy, happy. Okay, that's how he was. Then when he was around 3 years old, as he grew up, okay, he was doing a lot of this. Okay, when he was around 3 years old, okay, now he started walking, roaming around here and there. Okay, his father has the practice. Okay, after Ekadashi, the Dwadasi time, okay, before breaking the fast, he used to go around to all the tirthas around that area. That area, that South Canara region, where Udupi, Pacheshan is located, it's called Parashuram Kshetra. Because after killing all these wicked kings, Parashuram, he decided to take rest. So Varuna Dev actually gifted this piece of land to Parashuram to take rest. So that piece of land which is on the coast is called Parashuram Kshetra. So there are some important tirthas, holy places around that area. So he used to visit all those holy places, then only he comes back and breaks his fast. That is it. But sometimes, once in a year, we also see we have a very short fast breaking time. Okay, maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes, we have to break the fast. So we have a very short time, and it's not possible for him to go visit all the tirthas within that 5-10 minutes time, okay, and then break his fast. So he was worried what is going to happen. So understanding his father's heart, there was a pond or kunda near his house. He said, you can go and take bath in that tirtha, that kunda. That is sufficient because that kunda has all the holy waters, all the holy rivers reside in that kund. Okay, so you can just take part. It's as good as visiting all the holy things. Your 3-year-old boy saying something, okay? They think playful things, right? So nobody takes it seriously. Right? But so he was thinking that, but Madhvacharya, what he did, he understood. Okay, they are not believing me. So he took the root of a banyan tree which was growing nearby, okay, and he planted it upside down. Not even the root was up. The roots are upward and downward. Okay? He planted his root upwards, and he said, if you water, I challenge you, okay? You take water from the tirtha and pour and water this plant, the root which I planted. Okay. It will grow up to become a tree. When they did it, actually immediately the leaves started sprouting from that root which was upside. Okay? So they understood, okay, it's not an ordinary person. Another time what he was doing, he was playing with a stick. Because kids play with whatever they get with. And his father asked him, what are you doing? So Madhvacharya said, at the time he was Vasudeva, he said, he once again stamped the stick on the ground. And he said, I will establish Vaishnava Siddhanta throughout. Okay? And immediately that whatever stick he planted started growing like a tree. Okay? He said even the trees, those trees still exist. The kund is there, the trees, all those things are there. Okay? This is how he was leading he was doing some extraordinary things. And then as he grew up, and he started developing affinity towards, even though he was playing with other children and everything, but he started developing affinity towards visiting the temples, okay, practicing devotional service, engaging in meditation. Okay, that was his interest. And he used to spend a lot of time, rather than with the young boys of his age, he would spend alone in the temple. Okay, he played in the temple. That's what he was engaged in. And he used to go alone. One time he went from his house, he went to Udupi. Okay, and he didn't inform anyone, but he was very happy. And people started searching for him. And then finally when they found him, they said, how did you go there? He said, the Lord in the temple guided me. He went to one temple, and he said, okay, I went to this temple, and the Lord in the temple guided me to the other temple, and from that temple he guided me to the other temple. I was always escorted by the personality of God, so I had no problem. And he was very happy. He didn't look lost or anything like that. But he had a definite affinity for being around the temples, okay, showing a lot of devotional characteristics. He was doing like this. One time, okay, as there was a temple close by to his house. There was a big hill. On the top of the hill, there is one Durga temple. So he used to frequently visit the temple, okay, and stay there. One time what happened is that around that hill there's a forest area which a huge serpent was inside inside that forest. Suddenly that serpent, giant serpent, which is like a python here, suddenly that serpent came and attacked him. Okay. He just reacted instantaneously and just crushed the serpent, that's a python, using his toe, he's Hanuman, he's Bhima, he's powerful. Okay. He just crushed the head of the serpent, okay, and killed it. And it is said that serpent which he killed is actually a demon in the guise of a serpent called Manima. In the Mahabharata time, okay, the serpent Maniman, okay, then he was killed by Madhvacharya. So when people got to know about the serpent attack or python attack, Madhvacharya, everybody became very anxious. Okay, some people even fainted unconscious. But it seems that the news did not reach his house yet. His mother was searching for him. Where did he go? And she suddenly called out. Okay, because he thought, okay, he's somewhere playing on the neighborhood area. But he was very far. But he could hear his mother's voice. And Hanuman would jump. Okay, he was on top of the mountain or the hill. With just one jump, he came down and reached his house. Okay. So the stone on which he jumped, okay, is still there. There's a small shrine in that area marking Madhvacharya is the place where he performed that pastime. Like that, he was showing devotional animal. He was also, he's a prodigy. Okay? Nobody has to teach him anything. He could know everything on his own. Okay, even once teaching sufficient. So his father understood his son is not an ordinary person, so they did his Akshara Abhyas and he started learning Sanskrit grammar and all those things. And within a short period of time, he became really proficient. And one time he was visiting with his mother, his maternal grandparents' house, and there was one person who was giving a katha or like a discussion on Vedanta, okay, sutras. He was talking, and he was taking something wrong. Okay, and Madhvacharya, but with all humility, not to show that he knows things, corrected him. And people who were hearing the katha were very surprised. Okay, this child is not even 5-year-old, and he knows so much, and he is able to understand the grammatical context of the Sanskrit and the word meaning, translation, and he is giving a purport as well. So they were very much surprised by it. And when his father came to know about him, he understood, okay, my son needs to be put in like Upanayana has to be done. Because in those days, Shastras are taught once we have this sacred ceremony. So, and one time when he was also giving a class on Bhagavatam, okay, he missed speaking on a very important word in that verse. He skipped that word and he spoke on other things. Then immediately, like with utter humility, okay, again, not to show off, okay, with all respect, Madhvacharya told his father, okay, you missed speaking on this word. This is the most important word in this verse. And he gave a commentary on it. His father was very surprised, okay. Nobody has taught him anything, but he is able to speak. So he decided, okay, maybe he must put him through the formal education process of sending him to Gurukula and all those things. So Upanayana was happened and he was sent to Gurukul and he studied. And within a short period of time, he knew everything, he mastered. So after he completed, by age of 8 or so, okay, he's mastered all the Sanskrit grammar, Nyaya philosophy and all those things. But deep desire arose within his heart, or which is always there in his heart, saying, I must engage or I must preach this Vaishnava Siddhanta Vedanta. Now the whole world is filled with Mayavada philosophy. So he wanted to establish the Vaishnava Siddhanta of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So he had this deep desire. For that to happen, like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at a very early age, so that he can go around and preach. Right? So the Madhvacharya wanted to take sannyas. So he started searching for a spiritual master who can give him the sannyas diksha. So there was one person, his name was Preksha. Okay? He is very devoted to the Supreme Lord. But once again, they all at that time the dominant school was Mayavada. He was also taking Mayavada philosophy. But Achyuta Preksha's spiritual master told him, okay, don't follow this Soham principle. Okay? Nobody has ever succeeded in practicing this Soham, I am Brahman. It is just a fantasy. Okay? This Mayavada is not real. Please be dedicated to worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. Always remembering it. So he always carries this instruction, but he never had another alternative philosophy to study. So, and he was worshipping, he was once again offering his prayers to Ananteshwara, Lord Ananteshwara, and he was asking the Lord, okay, to help him understand the Guru's instruction so that he could follow it. So at that time the Lord appeared in his vision or a dream and said, very soon one disciple will come to you. Through him you will understand how to approach me. As said Vasudeva, he approached Achyuta Preksha and requested him to accept him as his disciple. Like Vasudeva asked Achyuta Preksha to accept him as a disciple.
This is the stone, Prabhu. You mentioned.
Yeah.
He leaves from here.
Correct. So, he understood. He understood within very short duration. Guru could understand that he is the disciple who Lord Ananteshwar spoke about. He was super scholarly. It's a special case. Okay? Guru learning from a disciple. It doesn't happen often. Okay? In some cases, in special cases, this happens. Okay? So, and he was very soon he became very well known. Okay, and Guru also wanted to initiate him into the sannyas order. Okay. But when his parents got to know, okay, this is going to happen, that my son is going to accept sannyas, and he was at hardly 9 years. Okay, taking sannyas at 8, 9 years. Some say 9 years, some say 12 years, so around that. He was very young. Okay. So his father came and he begged to him, okay, don't take sannyas, you are the only son, you have to take care of us and things. There was a, but we all know when in Iskcon also, when you go and tell the parents, okay, I'm going to become a brahmachari in Iskcon temple, what kind of conversation happens. Okay? Similarly, the parents were not encouraging him to take sannyas because he is their only son. But Madhvacharya was very stern. I want to do something. I want to engage in the service of the Lord. For that, sannyas is the right ashrama. Okay, so that people can get benefited. Right now, the whole world is going to hell. Okay, I need to help them. Then the father finally, the emotional blackmail, he fell at the feet of his son, begging him not to take sannyas. But Madhvacharya told, okay, I am junior. And younger by age. A senior like you should not be obeisances to a youngster like me. This can happen only when the ashrama is higher. A grihastha will pay obeisance to the sannyasi if the ashrama is sannyas, even though the sannyasi may be younger in age. I take it as a blessing that since you paid obeisance to me, you are giving the blessings that I can take sannyas. His father had nothing because nobody can beat him in logic. His father was disappointed, he went back home. Then again he came back along with his wife to convince his son not to take sannyas. Then a lot of back and forth happened. Then finally Madhvacharya told, like Vasudeva told, okay, I will not take sannyas, I will arrange for someone else to protect. The one reason they gave is, you are the only son, you have to take care of us during the old age. Now if you leave and go, who will take care of us? And it is against Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita says that sons have to take care of the parents in their old age. Okay, we cannot allow them to fend for themselves. So as per the Shastra, the son is supposed to take care of the parents. So Madhvacharya said, okay, fine, but there are higher principles, like working for the welfare of the world gets higher precedence over just taking care of the family. But Madhvacharya said, okay, and as long as I will arrange for someone to take care of it. As long as that person is not there, I will not take sannyas. Within like short duration of time, because of time, Madhva's mother again she became pregnant. Okay, and a son was born. Okay, and now Madhvacharya went and told, now you have another son to take care of it. He will take care of it. That son is also very exalted personality. Okay? As long as you are alive, he will take care of you. So kindly give me permission. So now the mother, through the mother, now father failed to convince him. Now through the mother, the emotional blackmail now happens. So he says, no, you cannot take, because father has told, don't give me permission. Okay? He said, no, you cannot take. Then Vasudeva was told, okay, I will not, but I am going to leave this place and go. If you give me permission to take sannyas, at least there is a chance of you meeting me once in a while. At least staying in this area, okay? And you will get the opportunity to see me, all those things. If you don't give me permission, then I am going to go far away. You will not hear about me, you will not know anything about me. So Madhvacharya counted like that. Finally the mother gave permission. So and he went and started training under Achyuta Preksha. And after a year of training, Achyuta Preksha offered him this sannyas diksha. So he was given the name Ananda Tirtha, Purna Prajna. No, no. When he took Diksha, he was given the name Purna Prajna. When he took Sannyas Diksha, he was given the name Ananda Tirtha. No, I'm wrong. When he took Sannyas, he got the name Purna Prajna. One who knows everything. Purna Prajna. Okay? He was given the name like that. Then, like as a principal disciple of Achyuta Preksha, now typically in those days, when you have mud, okay, there are a lot of scholars, okay, who come and debates to establish they are best among all the scholars. So many scholars are coming and challenging, okay, Purna Prajna. He was easily able to defeat every one of them, and everybody know, okay, he's a very special personality. So, and his spiritual master also understood. Now it is time for me to actually anoint him as the next Madhvacharya. So he anointed him as the next head of the Madh, okay, which was ready, and he was given this name of Ananda Tirtha. So he becomes the head of the Madh. He got the name of Ananda Tirtha. Ananda Tirtha is one who is always immersed in bliss of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as a sannyasi, we are supposed to not stay at one place. Right? We are supposed to go around and preach Krishna consciousness. So Madhvacharya started traveling, and during his travel, he was actually, many people came to challenge him. From Nayaka schools, Vaisheshika schools, Sankhya school, Buddhist school, Jain school, and then like Shakra school. Everybody started challenging him, and he was defeating all of them. Okay? And he was criticizing the philosophy of Mayavada. Now let's go a little bit into what is, we are speaking about Mayavada. What is Mayavada? You know, in like Shankara Sampradaya, like Mayavada philosophy, not even Shankara Sampradaya, the other Sastra, they say Brahman Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahman is real, Spirit is real. This Jagat, this universe is not real. Vaishnava Siddhanta is, no, Brahman is also real, Jagat is also real. We are also real. Jiva is also real. In Mayavada philosophy, right now, we are identifying ourselves as individual souls. This is illusion. Okay. Actually, we are all one unified Brahman. Because of Maya, okay, we are taking ourselves as independent and individual soul. They give this example of there is sun. Okay. Sunlight is reflected. It comes out like water, like in pond or a lake or something, you see sun's reflection, right? So this reflection is not real, right? It's just the shadow or like just or can say expansion. It's not a real object. Only sun is real object. Okay. So, and right now this reflection we take it out to be real. This is actually not real. So this Brahman is real, or the sky is real. The reflection is not real. And for reflection to happen, you need a reflecting medium. Right? If we go before the mirror reflects our image. Okay? We are real. The image reflected is ourselves. Okay? That is not the real object. Without the original object, the reflection doesn't happen. But the reflecting medium is the mirror. Similar reflecting medium is the water. Right? That's what they do. So this reflecting medium they call Ajnana, Avidya. Okay? So one may say, okay, if I go before a mirror and see myself, okay, we see one unique, you don't see only your head, you don't see only your belly or only legs, right? You see the entire feature before a mirror, right? Then how did we come to mistake one unified Brahman as multiple spirit souls? We are having individual consciousness, right? You have your own consciousness, I have my consciousness, you have your own consciousness. Okay, I don't know what you are thinking, feeling, all those things. But how did we come to mistake ourselves as individual consciousness? Even if we see a reflection should be the same as the original. If the Brahman is reflecting there, it should be the complete Brahman. Then why are we seeing this independent spiritual entities which they say Maya? They give another example. Okay? You keep a pots of water. Okay? And sun or a sky is reflecting in the different parts of water. The sky may not, but one part, small part may not reflect the entire sky. Maybe some portion of the sky is reflected in different parts. So they give this as example, saying, okay, there are different parts and little bit of Brahman is reflected in each part, even though Brahman is one. That is how we get this individual consciousness. Once you break the part, what happens? You don't see the reflection. Okay? And only you see is the original Brahman. So this is the example they give, analogy they give. And this reflection, which is the reflecting surface, is called avidya. Because of our ignorance, we see ourselves as separate. Rather, we are not separate, we are one unified group. This is how they justify Mayavada philosophy. Okay? This is called Mayavada because Maya, because we are in illusion. We are seeing ourselves as different from the world. So what is the philosophy of Madhvacharya or any Vaishnavacharya? It's called Tattvavada, the reality. Tattva means absolute truth. He takes the same analogy. Okay, he pokes hole into the philosophy. This is what Madhvacharya did. They told, okay, there is this avidya which is reflecting and making us believe, okay, something which is not real as real. He says, what is the source of avidya? He is asking this question. You see, avidya is the reflecting surface which is making us think we are independent or we are individual. What is the source of avidya? From where avidya is coming from? If you say avidya as a source different from Brahman, it means it's no longer Advaita. Advaita means there's a Brahman circle, that the rest of false, only Brahman is here. If there is some source which is outside of Brahman, it means it's no longer Advaitavada. So it doesn't exist. So Advaitavada stops existing. You contradict your own philosophy. Okay? So he questioned like that. The second question he raised is, okay, if you think avidya has a source in Brahman, Brahman is supposed to be, as per Shrutis, is conscious and consciousness, luminous and luminousness. Just like when you light a lamp, the lamp is luminous. Right? It itself is like fire. It's not only its fire, it also spreads the light around, it makes the things visible around. A light does not require another light to expose itself. When there is sun, you don't need a torchlight to go out and to locate the sun. Sun can expose itself. Not only expose himself, the sun can also expose things around for us. Right? Similarly, Brahman is supposed to be like that. It's conscious and consciousness, luminous and luminousness. Now, how come Brahman can have avidya? How it is possible for Brahman, the whole big Brahman, to be covered with ignorance? How that ignorance comes to the picture? They don't answer. So that's why when we read our Srila Prabhupada's books, we have very clear philosophy. What we say? We are tiny part and parcel of Lord. Because we are tiny, we are Anuatma, it is possible for us to come under the influence of illusion. Krishna never comes under the illusion, comes under the influence of illusion, because he is Brahman, he is always pure. He never gets controlled by Maya. Because he is Vibhuva, he knows everything. He cannot come under influence. But if you are tiny, we can come under the influence of much superior force. So that is the philosophy. So Madhvacharya used the same philosophy of Bimba Pratibimba Vada, that is reflection philosophy. He says, he gives a different analogy. He says, there is sun. And how a rainbow is formed? Sun rays are reflected by the tiny droplets of water. When there is a little rain and there is sun, these rays of the sun falls on the raindrop, okay? And the raindrops has this reflective property which reflects the sunlight, refracts the sunlight, and it splits the white light into 7 different colors, and you see the colors, Vijaya, the colors we see, right? Similarly, these tiny droplets of water are like jivas, we. Okay, sunlight is Krishna. This jiva reflects the qualities of Brahman. Okay. So here also he used the same Bimba Pratibimba Vata. Okay. This Jiva are actually very much dependent upon Paramatma, basically Supreme Lord. But there is no external medium to reflect. He says we ourselves reflect Brahman. But we cannot, this tiny drop of water cannot reflect the entire sun. It can reflect only a little bit of sun. Little bit of sunlight. Right? Similarly, the Jiva are very small and we can reflect only small, we represent only small portion of Brahman. So there is always a difference between the Brahman and the Jiva. So this is how he countered the arguments of Mayavadas. Brahman is always real and we Jiva are also real. Relationship. What is the relationship? He is Swatantra, he is independent. We are Paratantra, we are always dependent. So he takes same analogies, same arguments of Mayavada and he questions, he finds the flaws in their philosophy, he points out, he will answer any of this. Okay? Your philosophy is itself self-contradictory. Okay? And he gives alternate. He gives the same analogy of Brahma Pratibimba and shows, okay, no, we Jivas are separate from the Lord. We are always dependent on the Lord. How rain is formed? When sunlight evaporates water, it becomes cloud, condensation happens, and then rain comes. So Jivas also dependent upon Paramatma. So like that, he gives the counter arguments. So that is how he started establishing. So Vaishnava philosophy is about realism. Mayavada philosophy is about illusion. Vaishnava philosophy is about realism. We are real. This world is real. Okay, Lord is real. Okay, he has a form, he has a name, he has qualities, everything is real. This is Vaishnava philosophy. Okay, and it is expressed in different language. So, Madhvacharya, so other than he has not written any Bhashya yet. He was just preaching, but he didn't have a Bhashya, he didn't write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra yet. Okay, he was still preaching only. So when he was preaching, so he gets challenged. Okay, you are always finding fault with others' philosophy, but where is your philosophy? Where is your commentary on Vedanta Sutra? You are just finding fault. You are not giving any alternative. So he started engaging in deep Shastra series. We know it. Nana Shastra Vicharite Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako. Same thing. Our Goswamis, what they did? They thoroughly studied all the philosophies, all the Shastras. What purpose they studied? Sadharma Samstapako. They want to establish the Dharma of Bhagavata, Dharma of any scripture, any verse in the philosophy, scriptures, it talks about glories of Lord Hari. Same thing, he followed Madhvacharya. He also studied all the scriptures to establish the highest principle anywhere in any Shastras is to worship, to perform loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So he was engaged in this study. And he didn't, just because somebody challenged, he didn't just go and start writing commentary. First he wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Okay, because that's the Gita Upanishad. Okay, so important Upanishad to establish the philosophy of Tattvavada, Advaita. Okay. Then he was wishing and praying that for the blessing of the Lord. Okay, it's not we'll be able to preach or we will be able to practice devotional service on our own effort. We always require the blessings from the higher source, from the spiritual master, from the Supreme Lord. So he was deeply engaged in contemplating, like how Srila Prabhupada spent before going to US. He spent a lot of time in Vrindavan, meditating, praying to Rupa Goswami, translating Srimad Bhagavatam. He was praying, constantly praying to Rupa Goswami to empower him so that he can preach this teachings of Rupa Goswami all over the world. He was constantly praying. So Madhvacharya was also praying to get a spiritual master who can help him understand the deeper meanings of philosophy. So he decided, okay, he will take a pilgrimage to Badrikash. He knows, like Vyasadeva is still residing there. Even today he is there. He is not accessible to us. So he decided, he took permission from his guru Achyuta Preksha and embarked on a journey to, and just cutting lot of details. It's a very nice, lot of details are there. He goes there and he goes and takes darshan of Naranarayana Rishi. Okay, he engages in worship of Naranarayana Rishi, like the deities of Naranarayana, Badrikashram Kshetra. For 48 days he was fasting. He was deeply praying, engaged in the prayers of his wish and desire is to meet Vyasadeva and take his blessings and study under him. And after 48 days, the Lord appeared and he told him, okay, and even Vyasadeva appeared and told him and invited him to his ashram. So next day, Madhvacharya, he went along with few disciples of his. He said he told all his disciples to stay back because this is in a part of Himalayan mountain which is not accessible to normal human beings like us. Okay, Vyasadeva's ashram in Badrikashram in Himalayas is a very inaccessible area. Okay, one needs to be qualified to go there because it's as good as Vaikuntha Loka, or it is Vaikuntha Loka. So he asked his disciple to stay back. He started going. But here one disciple was Satya Tirtha. The Satya Tirtha was very much attached to Madhvacharya. He started following his guru also. Madhvacharya is not an ordinary person. Okay, he could jump mountains. Okay, just like that, he is a very trained mountaineer. Okay, our Bachendri Palan, all those people are nothing before it. Okay, all people who climb Mount Everest. Okay, these people Tenzing Norgay. So no, he would just jump. But Satyajit was somehow following him, even though because of the empowerment of Madhvacharya, he was also following him. And it became evening time. And Madhvacharya stopped and he turned around and he said, go back. Just with his wave of hand, a gust of wind came and just carried him.
Let it.
A gust of wind came and carried him back to the mud where he was staying. Okay? Because he is Pavanaputra. He can do things. Right? So, he went back. So, the reason being, okay, just because his disciple was following him, okay, Madhvacharya could not leave him to fend for himself and he go. His progress was impeded. Because his disciple was following him, he didn't feel like, okay, leaving him back. So he was progressing very slowly. So he told him, now you go back, I'll come back later. Okay, so he went back to his ashram. And his disciple was very, very surprised. Okay. He took the entire day from morning till evening to reach the point. And with just one wave of hand, he came back to the place where he started. So he was glorifying his spiritual master to his other disciples who heard this amazing pastime. So he went to Badrikashram and he went into the blessings of Vyasadeva. Okay, and Vyasadeva invited him and he offered his obeisances. And they had a very nice exchange, the devotee and the Lord meeting each other. And he became a student, he started studying under Srila Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva requested him to write the Bhashya, because that was his desire, to write a Bhashya. With the blessings of Srila Vyasadeva and Naranarayana Rishi, the deities Naranarayana, he composed Sutra on Vedanta Sutra. He composed a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Okay, he carried that commentary, which is called Tattvavada, the reality, like the truth. Okay, so even our Acharya, Jiva Goswami, right? He wrote Sat Sandarbhas. His first Sandarbha is called Tattva Sandarbha, about the concept of absolute truth. Right? And he established the Tattvavada philosophy and he started preaching it, teaching it to his students. And I just gave a little overview of it. What are the main teachings of this Tattvavada philosophy? So this is what it is, okay? Vishnu is supreme, the 9 principles which Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur quoted, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all Gaudiya Vaishnavas should follow the footsteps of the Madhvacharya. What are those? Vishnu is supreme and he is known only by study of Vedas. This material world is real. Mayavada is Brahman Satyam Jagat Mithya. But this material world is the energy of Krishna. Since it is the energy of Krishna, it has to be real. It cannot be unreal. The jivas are different from the Lord. We are Binna Amsa. We are separated part and parcel of the Lord. We are not equal to the Lord. So, the jivas are different from the Lord. The jivas are by nature subservient to the Lord. Jivera Surupoy, Krishniyar, Nityadas. This is our position. We are always subservient to the Lord. We are not equal to the Lord. In both the condition and graded condition, the jivas are situated higher at the lower statuses. Whether we are in the conditioned state or liberated state, there is difference between one jiva and another jiva. One jiva may be engaged in Dasya Rasa, another jiva may be engaged in Sakya Rasa, other rasa. Different kinds of rasas are. Then liberation is attained only through devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. And pure devotion grants liberation. Only through pure devotion grants liberation. And liberation means attaining the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Okay? And there are 3 ways, okay, that we gain knowledge from. One is Pratyaksha, Anuvana and Shraddha. He accepted all 3 sources as the primary sources of knowledge. These are the 9 principles we accept as it is from Srila Madhvacharya. And in Namdik Mahatmya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes, there are two items which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted from each sampradaya. Two principles he accepted from each sampradaya. The 2 principles which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted from Madhvacharya sampradaya is this one. Complete defeat of Mayavada philosophy. Kevala Advaita Nirasana. Because Madhvacharya is a great crusader against this Mayavada philosophy. Okay? So Madhva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this is what the preaching mode should be. Complete defeat of Mayavada philosophy. Second is the worship of the deity of Krishna and understanding it to be eternal. So the deity form of the Lord is non-different from the Lord. This is one essential thing. Krishna Murti Sevana. It is just not a stone or an idol we worship. This deity form of the Lord is not different from the supreme original form of the Lord. So these are the 2 principles Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our Sampradaya we accepted from Madhvacharya. And there are many commonalities between, of course, we come from Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. We derive a lot of our philosophy and teaching from Madhvacharya's teaching, but these are the primary principal teachings. We also chant famous shloka in the beginning of our Bhagavatam class, right? Narayana Namaskrityam Narachaivo Narottamo Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayam. This shloka, as per Madhva tradition, is actually this shloka talks about Dharma Madhva Sampradaya. Narayana, Supreme Lord Narayana, Namaskrityam Naram Chaivo Narottamo. Naram Chaivo means like Prabhupada translated as offering obeisance to Narayana Rishi. Of course, we saw how Madhvacharya went and took the blessings of Narayana Rishi. And Naro, the best of Jiva. Who is the best of Jiva? Lord Brahma is considered to be the best of Jiva, right? We say, Prabhupada says, okay, Brahma is the best among all the Jivas. Who is engaged in, who is engaged in among conditioned living entities. I'm not talking about liberated entities. Conditioned living entities, in every universe, Brahma is the best. So, Narottama, Uttama, the best among living entities. In Madhva Sampradaya, like how we say, we are followers of the footsteps of Rupanugas. Followers of Madhvacharya consider Vayu to be their guru. And one gets liberation through the medium of Vayu. And their slogan is Hari Sarvotama, Vayu Jivotama. Hari is Sarvotama. Hari is the best of all living entities. And Vayu is Jiva Uttama. Of all the living entities, Vayu is the best. Continue, in the sense, Jiva, living entities. Why Vayu, why not Brahma? So, for them, Brahma and Vayu are almost on the same level. Whoever is Vayu today will become the next Brahma. So, if you want to know who is going to occupy the post of Brahmaji next, who is that? Hanuman is the person who is going to become the next Brahma. So, Hari Sarvotama, Jai Vayu. This is their slogan. So, this Naru Uttama represents, as from Madhvacharya, it represents Vayu. Naram Chaivo Narottama, Devi Saraswati Vyasa. Devi is what? Who is Devi? Devi Saraswati Devi. But here Devi represents Lakshmi Devi, consort of Lord Narayana. Then Saraswati comes next. Why Saraswati? Because when Brahma is the best Jiva, Saraswati's wife is the next best. Right? So Devi Saraswati Vyasa. Vyasa is spiritual master of Madhvacharya. So this was actually, as per Madhvacharya, this represents Brahma Madhav Sampradaya. Okay? And we are part of that Sampradaya as well. But we have our differences with them. But we are looking at the commonality because our Acharya went beyond defeating Mayavada philosophy and gives us a glimpse into the spiritual world or practicing bhakti rasa. They gave us how to swim in the nectar of ocean of devotional. This is our Acharya's contribution for us. That they are giving a glimpse into what is life in the spiritual world. So with that I will stop here. Exceed at the time. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you for giving opportunity to glorify the pure devotee of the Lord. I just wish and pray that I may get purified by remembering such pure devotees who appeared in this material world to give us the right direction, right path. Okay? Language and philosophy may be a little bit different between our sampradaya and other sampradaya, but the essence remains same. Right? Hari is Sarvotama, he is the best. Okay? And we are always subservient to the Lord. And this is the relationship which we need to cultivate. Right? Loving devotional service to Srimad. Only way is through the medium of the previous acharyas. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Hari SHYAM Prabhu.
The class was really good and inspiring, and I think we can continue.